we saw this new age was called the Enlightenment. During the Renaissance, people began to see that the church, power, and the king were not necessarily one and the same. And in the Reformation, people began to separate the church from power, so they could leave the Catholic Church and make their own churches. During the Enlightenment, people began to separate the king from power. And they said, we can make our own rules. We can make our own rulers. We saw how this played out in the real world, as people began to recognize the power in themselves. When Columbus came to Latin America and took over, he brought old school thinking. This was sort of pre-Renaissance thinking. The king, the church, and the power were all the same thing. And Columbus and Spain took over the Americas in the name of Spain, in the name of the Catholic Church. About 200 years later, people would be coming over to North America, people from England, people like Thomas Jefferson, who is the person who wrote our Declaration of Independence. And these people would be bringing some new school ideas, just power. They were leaving the church behind, they were leaving the king behind in Europe, and they were coming to North America to create a new place. In our textbook, Columbus and the Spanish were referred to as the conquerors, because they really did come to Spain, to Latin America, to take over, to impose their rules and take things back to Spain, gold, silver. The people in North America we were referred to as settlers. They were coming to this place to make a new world, to make a new society with new rules and new kinds of thinking. And that kind of thinking was just about power. No church, no king, only the power of the people deciding for themselves. And this is Enlightenment thinking, and this is what we would come to call democracy.